Sweet peas and jelly beans. What does the future of Pulse Chain hold? Of course, friends, you can go to any chain. There are many layer 1 chains. There are many alternatives. We are all pretty much leveraged on Ethereum. Now, I have a vision, and I don't just care about being right or wrong. Okay, I want to make money. So I'm not 100% all in on Pulse Chain, but I am taking a significant amount of time and effort to research what's in it. And I'm imagining in my head, when I just see Pulse Chain, friends, a lot of people just see the logo and I'll just see like Richard Heart's face in their mind. Okay, you see Hex, logo, Richard Hart. But when I see Pulse Chain, I see the ecosystems around it. I see the networks. I see the families in there. I see the Tang Gang. I see Mr. B Roots. I see Mr. Corey Spaghetti Meatballs. I see Matty Allen's Conference. I see all of these parts, all these parts of the network. And I see, you know, Dick with Butt. I see with all the other meme coins. I see the Tang Gang stuff, all the universe being made. I see PDI, the Atropa ecosystem, of course. I see all of these things moving around. They have their own price volatilities, up, down, left, right. That's what I see. And a lot of people will try to pick a team inside the country, and I don't think that's the game you should be playing because it's very, very difficult. I like picking them all. Now, another way to pick them all is just to buy the index, pretty much buy PLS. It's just like buying Ethereum. However, if you have more time here, like we're here 18 hours a day, you can spend enough effort and energy units and pretty much figure out what is sticky. You know, when you see people making GIFs, animations, shouting about on Twitter and YouTubes, you know that the community has something there. Does a joke make you laugh? Are there meme coins and altcoins? Are there people building? This gives you an enhanced network effect. And with that, we are now going to see, friends, a nice pump tune because we're going to check out Pulse Chain's future price action and we're going to try to derive what happens to Pulse Chain's ecosystem and all those coins based off what happened with Solana. Now, of course, we have Richard Heart here, friends, of course. Now, this is the most important part of all. I have the information here. Solana pumped up to around 50 billion to 100 billion valuation, and the meme coins on there exploded. So, of course, friends, you know, stranger to me, take a seat over there. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. I've told you that it's all about the leverage. That's what I've told you, and you know this, all right? So I even have the chart here to show you. So Solana, the Soy token, goes up about 10x. The leverage ecosystem altcoins, they went up 250x. Some of them even went up 200,000x. That was bonk. That was dog with hat. I'm going to show you the picture here now. Now, here's the thing, friends. I call them leverage altcoins, but I'm not going to apologize to anybody. Yeah, it's leverage altcoins. You got to remember, it's leverage. I want to use the term leverage. I don't care if people get confused. Now, remember, there's leverage as in you're highly sensitive to a movement, but that's the okay leverage. Okay, the bad leverage is when you're borrowing with someone's money. You're leveraging someone else's money. The leverage in this context is we're leveraging the SPI. Okay, that's exactly what we're here for. We want to leverage the SPI. So, you know, a lot of people still don't get it. I'm here to tell you, all right? Keep your back straight for this one. Crypto is leverage on the stock market. It is what it is, all right? When the stock market goes up, we rock it harder. When the stock market capitulates, it's poopy town, all right? So, crypto, we are leverage on the stock market. Bitcoin is definitely leverage on the stock market. Ethereum is leverage on Bitcoin. We're going along the risk curve now. The layer 1 chains are leverage on Ethereum. And then you have the ecosystems within the SPI coins. They're leverage on that. For example, the DEXs. And then you have even the smaller coins. Everything's along the risk curve. Everything's along the risk curve. So it's not that anybody's right or wrong. It depends. You know, how much liquidity do you have to play? So, look, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm wearing a Pokemon Squirtle face hat. Try find this one on the internet. But if you're dealing with a portfolio of less than $10,000, this is just how I'm thinking. Why would I want to play in a playground where there's whales clipping in 10 million? Because if whales clip in 10 million and it's barely moving the price, then what's my little crappy $10,000 allocation going to really do? It needs a lot of money coming in. Like, you got to be really right. And if you bet on that world and you're succeeding, well, guess what? A lot of other things have erupted even more. But you can't take this out of context. You can't just go buy any coin at any price. You need to be able to do things like watch my videos, friends, like, subscribe. I show you things like ratios. I'm the only ones who actually uses weekly charts. You know, W for friendship. Everybody else seems to love this 1 hour, 4 hour charts, daily charts. Friends, they are worse than crack cocaine. You can't touch those little charts. Touching those little charts always gets you in trouble. I know how to use those charts. You don't. I know what ends up happening. People see these big fat green candles and I go, missed it. You know, that sucks. That's what I say. I know what 99% of people say. They go, gotta get in, gotta get in. That's what people say. So when Solana went up 10x, which is the chart up here, you see this move here, Solana went up 10 to 12x. Bonk in this same time, look at this from down here, you can't even see it down here, but Bonk did a 250x. Isn't that crazy? Yes, it's true. It happened. We all saw it. That's the leverage, right? And people data killing off that. Fantastic. So think about that multiplier though. You know, one does 10x, the other does a 250x. But you know, let's smooth out. That's 250x from the low. Let's even meet in the middle. Let's do like even if it was just a 15x multiplier, right? The real number is 25, but that's from the low to the top. But 15x multiplier is big, friends. Even a 10x multiplier, 10 is huge. This one's enormous, man. Like this is freaking enormous, right? So if you're getting a 10x multiplier on the SPI, you've killed it because your SPI as a layer 1 is undervalued to Ethereum. And so you're finding something that's undervalued to Ethereum. Oh my gosh, you literally hit the jackpot. It's literally jackpot. That's why you get 250x. That's why you get 250x. You make your 100x. And yes, 100x, friends. Some people say like, oh, well, I would have only had $1,000 on that. What? Yeah, okay, man. 1,000 becomes 100 grand. Now you can rotate into like another SPI and you're like, hey, this might do a 10x by the end. You turn into $1 million. That's your 1,000x. So that's why these things are very, very powerful. Bonk did a 240x-ish. Dog with Hat did a 200,000x. Crazy. Bowden, which is one of the just political meme coins. You've seen it, Joe Bowden, there's Trump or something. That's done like 1,000x. So one of the biggest paper hand fumblers of all time was in the Joe Bowden coin. I forgot how much he fumbled. Something like $60 million. Something ridiculous. 20 million or 10 million. It's an enormous amount of money. Enormous amount of money. And they fumbled. They only took like 5 grand out. So this opportunity happens because the SPI goes up. That's important. But the SPI leads. So you can't just neglect it, but it's something to think about. Now, we're using this to parallel what might happen to Pulse Chain. So most people, friends, I might have to play some nice Habibi music for them because you're my Habibi too. Most people believe that Pulse Chain's going to pump 300x. That's what most people believe, and it's just going to do it by itself. They think that they have the coin, it's going to go up. But you and I know there's liquidity bonding. You and I know how much money is needed when Pulse Chain does the first 10x. How much incremental money is needed just to pump it another 2x? You know that? So if Pulse Chain, I think the offers are like $60 million. So if you want to pump it up 10x, you do about 9 that. So 9.6 is about... so you got to be about 3 times that. 3 times the offer, because 3 squared is 9. So you'd be about $180 million. So $180 million gets inserted. You do like your 9 or 10x. So you have $180 million as a brick wall. To get like another 4x off that, actually, you have to add another $180 million just to get the 4x. $180 million of not market cap, full money injection. So the spillover of the $180 million is insane. That's the amount of pumpermentals going on with altcoins is huge. So you see how it gets heavier and heavier to push up, diminishing gains. So these people, which is a lot of people, of course, they are basing their expectation that Pulse Chain is just going to rip 300x with like Hex and PulseX. They're basing it based off what Hex did and their worldview back in the past cycle. So I've got to remind you, Hex had a $5 million market cap. And the biggest entry clip back then was about 50 grand. And you can go check the big adoption amplifiers. Now, I'm sure there's someone bigger here and there, but that's a big person back then was like 20 to 50 grand. Because they were in day one adoption amplifiers. And yeah, trust me, don't laugh now. Back then, that was a lot of money because Bitcoin was only 6 grand. So these people were putting in like 3 Bitcoin minimum into this Hex adoption amplifier. And you know how dangerous that is, friends, to throw in 3 Bitcoin into anything, because you know one day Bitcoin just might be $1 million and you're literally giving away like a future $1 million. You know that's coming. So it's very, very risky. So think about the carrying you have to do if someone just has 50 grand. Compare that to what we have today. Today, Rectum Rochelle has $140 million. So you have to carry Rectum One guy, $140 million. You've got to carry him versus 50 grand back then. You see how it's so much heavier to carry Rectum? Now, friends, I only use Rectum because he's the biggest whale in the ecosystem. He's not going to necessarily dump. I'm sure Mr. Rectum would tell us, I'm not going to dump. Before I let go of anything, I'm going to go do a promotion on the exchanges. So that's pretty much what they do, friends. For them to actually like relinquish a lot of their bags, to distribute a lot of their bags. You know, if Rectum's got $1 billion by one point, does a 10x, yeah, he could just take out 10 million, give $1 million to each exchange, and just promote the freaking thing so it gets even bigger network effect. He could do that just so it's easier for him to exit. It opens up more pathways. There's more market makers, OTC. You see what I mean? So everybody benefits like that. But I want you to be aware of this just so you know. Because look, friends, a lot of people, they'll take this as FUD. They'll go, oh, but you're saying FUD. No, man, it's a reality of the situation, friends. Just like I tell you, you know, America's got a nuke. They can nuke every city in the world, right? You know that, yeah? Is that FUD, friends? If I tell you America has a nuke, you might say, oh, why are you putting this in my head? No, but it's factual information. America has the nukes, and they can literally just put a bomb in anywhere on Earth, okay? So you just got to accept that for your reality. But I want you to take a step further. Now that you've swallowed reality, I know you like swallowing, it's a family-friendly show, think about why haven't America go put a bomb in every single nation on Earth? It's because they understand economics, and we're all friends, and we're all interconnected, and there's economies, and we all trade with each other. They know that. So that's why you think, oh, it's kind of an imaginary horrible, right? Now, I don't want you to say, oh, never's never, so neglect it as zero, but that's pretty much what we're getting at. So back in 2019, you had to carry just one of the bags, 50K. Today, you got to carry $135 million pretty much. So it becomes heavier. So look, the facts are market cap does matter, liquidity does matter. Even if, so I've even mentioned, Richard did this post where he's like, hey, a couple of people think they're smart, but not really, because we can go up further than you think. Why? He basically implies, I'll read between the lines, he basically implies that he's a big part of the market making in terms of the liquidity providing. He can pull his offers and make it thinner. That's what he's basically saying. So do you remember I said there was a 60 million offer wall for Pulse? Well, Richard might be a third of that. He could pull from the 60 million, make it 40 million. So to triple it, sorry, to give it a 9x, you don't need to insert 180 million anymore. You only need to insert 120 million. Okay, isn't that crazy? So I did 3 times 60 million on the brick wall. Now to get a 9x of the new one, it's only 3 times 40 million, which is 140, okay? If you want to actually draw it for you here, okay? So right now, so with 60 million on offer, need 180 million to go 9x, all right? That's pretty much it. However, when there's 40 million on the offer, you only need 120 million to go 9x. You see that? See that difference, friends? 60 million offer, 180 million need, only 120 million. So that's pretty much what's saying. However, once again, let's continue. This assumes that no one clicks sell. Because even though you've pulled the liquidity, if you pump it up and Mr. Rectum says, hey, I actually want to cash out, I'm going to click market out. He does. He clicks it out. And then you pump it up again, he clicks it out. It's just thinner, all right? Now, obviously, you hope that somebody who believes in the ecosystem that much doesn't do something like that because they made a lot, but you get to see. And yeah, look, friends, I told you so many times, every ecosystem, every coin has big whales that can send us to zero. Every coin, every ecosystem. Greed takes over, though. Trust me, greed is powerful. People get euphoric in their minds. They get an ego. They're like, you know what? I might be in control of something big here. And guess what? They were right in Bitcoin. You are controlling something big, you know? So all those people who sold, they regret it. That's why God bless Bitcoin. Because it gave everybody the biggest fear of all time. They fear God and they fear the green candle after they sell. Yeah, they do. Have you ever felt it, friends? Have you ever sold something and just watched it go up without you? You're like, I remember seeing that, friends. I remember seeing it. And I remember selling and something just going at 2x. Just 2x. I couldn't sleep. Just 2 freaking X. I couldn't sleep. You know why? Because that 2x happened within the next 18 hours. You know, and you're just like, oh man, because you know, one day, friends, you're gonna be out, maybe you made like, you know, 50 grand in something, and then you just know, oh my gosh, if you just waited an extra 48 hours, you'd have 100 grand. It's gonna happen, and it's very, very hard to deal with. There is no preparation for this, except this happens. And I promise you, your brain will forget about it. You go through the trauma and then you live to fight another day. Okay, so We've seen what I've mentioned to you about Pulse Chain rallying. We've seen it with Ethereum many times. So we're talking about, imagine like Richard pulls offers, he smacks it up. What would happen after that? Well, look what happened with Solana. Solana goes up 10x. The altcoins on Solana land, they're a big opportunity that appear. And we actually, it's not me just guessing, this happens on Ethereum. So we even saw it in 2023. Ethereum goes up 25% and then stops, meme coins appear. And they start popping up and people start going nuts. A psychological wealth effect. Okay, so even Ethereum going 25% and Ethereum meme coins and altcoins go nuts as well. So the thing is, everybody in crypto knows this, but nobody likes to admit it. Why? They have to constantly admit that the big opportunity is in the casino. So they don't like admitting, oh, it's actually in the small one. But, you know, it's okay, friends. Look, for the influencers out there, I know a lot of them pretty much watch me. Look, you got to tell your audience this. Hey, man, sure, lottery tickets are fun when they work. The problem is if you don't have a good price and then the coin goes down, which it will, 60%, 80%, you will lose sleep because you don't even really believe in it because you only bought it for it to go up immediately. There's nobody backing that thing specifically. It's so easy to make an imitation in a coin. And if when you have a community like behind, say, Pulse Chain, PulseX, or Chainlink, or Doge, or any of the bigger ones, there's bigger players there who are going to make sure these things stay around. Okay, so, but everybody knows it, but we all know that the opportunity is in the smaller stuff. You definitely know, right? So knowing this is not enough. So that's why everybody should know you got to be early. You got to pick things right, and pretty much 90% call 10% lottery. But even then, you're like, yeah, man, a lottery. Imagine doing 90% lottery, sweet. But what if your lottery is a bit 6 months early, and then by the time the real lottery season comes, you had to allocate to new coins, but now you've got to take 50% losses in illiquid trash because you bought the wrong set of coins here and there. So I didn't know we were going to bink it this year, had no idea. So Pulse Chain ecosystem has many great meme coins, which would be high probability bets. If Pulse, the speed does a 10x from here, and then you've got big narratives, right? PDI, World's Future Stablecoin, first one. Teddy Bear, HOA, Tangang, there's the Hex Orange address, right? Dick with Bart, and there's many sleeper hits. You got Poor Pleb, you have 9-inch, you got 9mm decks, all the coins launching. This all adds to the network effect, friends. There's all heaps of others. Just think about just all of them being put together. It's fantastic, right? So I can't give you advice, but I just know me. I just can't pick one of them, friends. That's why I love Pokemon that much. I finished it with every different starting Pokemon, right? Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. We just finished the whole thing, and then we got Pokemon Yellow and finished it with Pikachu as well, of course, when it came out. So right now, though, roughly, you can see, if you add up all the coins, friends, you know, Richard Heart valuation, what does it toggle? 3, 4, 5, 6 billion-ish, you know, in that range. But we know what the future holds now. We can kind of think, we saw it in Ethereum. We even saw it in Solana. So it's not native to ERC20 land. It's happened in Solana land where, you know, if you had stuff, you know, like Richard beating the SEC, streaming again, or doing another sacrifice phase, they could all add to it. But don't forget that big opportunity in the ecosystem, it's probably going to happen such that the speed rises and everyone distributes and reprices. It's literally, it's a psychological wealth effect. That's pretty much it. Okay, so we don't know what the future holds, and it's only wise you have exposure to the Pulse Chain City altcoins. There's something for everybody. There's something, you know, friends, here's the thing. Like, if, let's say you're a full-on Hex Maxi, you got eHex, man. There's literally something for everyone here. I'm not joking. Literally every single type of personality, we got gophers, we got squirrel lovers, we got everything, man. There's literally anything you want. And guess what? If you don't like any of those coins, you got eHex. eHex, pretty much like a meme coin degen. It's super thin, volatile. You see what I mean? There's something for everyone. That's beautiful. And, you know, factoring all of these, though, it's really important because the speed needs to rise and then everything else moonshots. But a lot of people, you know, if you ask anybody else out there, they go, how do you know your speed is going to rise? You don't. You don't. Your friends are taking a risk. Everything's taking a risk, okay? Everything you do is taking a risk. So how do you even know the Bitcoin people are going to crush it? How do you know Bitcoin's going to even go to their highest, wildest imaginations? You don't know that. In a perfect world, Bitcoin goes to like 160 to 240K and Ethereum smashes up like 15 grand and altcoins go over nuts. That's a perfect world. Maybe we get that. Maybe we get that world. You never know. They printed so much money in the currency units And I just want to remind everybody, so early in the year, we saw Richard blow $14 million into PulseX by itself, and then it got 60% rejected instantly. You also saw PHEX get the preference buys from anti-EHEX Richard FUD, and then it gets rejected, and everything dunks hard, right? So PHEX like hits 3 cents, comes back down, hits under 1 cent. So as you can see, the SPEAR coins are safe, but on average, they don't retire you to the same level because see, I'm very aware of this, right? I can start to attach the word safe to things. And when I do that, I know, that means it's blue chip. And that means its big move is not going to happen the same way it did on average last time. And that's something you're going to learn. It takes you years and years to feel that way, what I feel. Because many people just think they're on a constant journey of discovery and they're the only person to discover something. But I'm always like, oh, wait a minute. This is what the market's already chosen. Okay, so once again, there's something for everyone. There's a risk curve, and that's why I always say, man, 90% call, 10% lottery. Even though I'm very confident the lottery tickets smash it, I'm very aware which lottery tickets, how, there has to be a price. There's a cheap price in the ratios, and then how long do you have to hold? You know what I mean? And which ecosystems the lottery tickets? All these questions get answered, and because there's so many, everyone just keeps popping them on. Why is this community sticky? Okay, so it's not so simple when you look at it on the surface. It's just like, when you're probably thinking, oh, I should have bought Bonk, made 200x, and then rotated into Sol. Doesn't happen, okay? But if you spend enough time, you look at these communities, okay, this one's sticky. There's sticky memes and gifs here. There's people who are either laughing, having fun, they tag it. It's part of the ecosystem. It's liquidity bonded. Tangang bond a lot of the things together. Got Dick with Bart, HOA. That's your edge, friends. That's your actual competitive edge. I know you want an edge as in someone gives you a piece of candy and then it turns out that piece of candy is worth $1 million. I know everybody wants that instant gratification, but that repricing mechanism does not usually wake up until big daddy SPEARs of the ecosystem wake up. Already saw if Bitcoin go up and Ethereum, that's pretty much what we're going towards. So that's obviously how I believe it's going to play out. And guess what? It's not even really guessing. We already saw as soon as Pulse started going up, in January, Feb of this year, what happened? The altcoins started going nuts in Pulse Chain straight away. They're hyper reactive, which is fascinating, right? Why are they hyper reactive? You can think of all the reasons. It doesn't need to keep you up at night, but you have a strong, loyal cult community. But everybody is meant to be just Richard Heart focused coins. And people are naturally exploring the dungeon and dens of all these, making these meme coins and stuff. And everyone's just having fun. But I don't know why these things are so explosive. Because, yeah, there are rugs. However, there's something special here. There's something special. I think it's a direct reflection of Richard Heart and the loyalty about Hex, Pulse Chain, and PulseX. I think it is there. So they all have to be embraced, whether you like it or not. And, yeah, pretty much, look, fans, the beautiful part is, man, when Ethereum gets clogged, you need $200 for a gas fee. You know what I mean? You need a minimum $3,000 clip for Ethereum. Minimum $2,000 to $3,000. With Pulse Chain, you can literally throw in $30. Oh, this guy's talking about something. Oh, it's new. I don't know if it's going to rug. Throw in $10, $20, see what happens, friends. You never know, man. Sometimes, okay, I think it was Mr. Davey. It was either Davey Ann or somebody else. One of you guys threw a lottery into one of the coins and it went up too much. It went up 18x. And then he didn't tell me how much he put in. Maybe he only put in $50. He turned up 18x. He's like, oh, man. He's probably wishing he put in $500, but he put in $50. But guess what? It's on his radar now. Pulls back 70%. If you want, see, now that you've had your skin in the game, you can learn about it. And you're like, you know what? Do I want to add 300 to 400 now? I had my skin in the game. You know what I mean? If you never had that bullet in, you would never have paid that much attention. So you do learn a lot by just participating here. Let's see how the ecosystem plays out. Like, subscribe, bell button, or catch you soon.